would you like to grab a separate sheet of paper?
So either take out a separate sheet of paper or grab a separate sheet of paper from the sidewall over there. How am I doing on notebook paper?
You're good. You got plenty.
Okay.
You have enough separate sheet of paper.
Over by the calculators and the pencil sharpener, you can get a separate sheet of paper. We're going to do a quick sidebar because look at. So we kind of already talked about this a little bit. What is the rule for integrating 1 over x? The integral of 1 over x is ln of x. Technically, it's ln of the absolute value of x because ln has to be positive. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't take the log of a negative number. Okay. So you guys, what is the integral of 2 over x dx?
2 ln of absolute value of x. Plus C.
Plus c.
Right. Sorry, there's no bounds. My fault.
Okay. What about this one?
ln of 4x minus 1 plus c. Absolute value.
Does anybody have a problem with that? I have a problem with that. You know what we should do? We should take the...
If you take the derivative. So
If we took the derivative, we'd have to multiply this by 4.
So that would work.
Or, if that is like a big step, instead, sidebar over here, let's just let u equal 4x minus 1. Du would equal 4 dx. Du over 4 would equal dx. So now you've got the integral of 1/4 1 over u du. And now you've got 1/4 ln of u plus c, and then plug it back in. So if you need to do u sub there, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing a u sub there, because I think can be a large jump in other circumstances, right? Okay. We feeling okay so far? All right. So these basics, you guys, everything else is going to be a manipulation of this. That's it. How would you do this one?
Do some long division.
I would not.
No, I would not.
Long division is really helpful when the degree of the top is bigger than the degree of the bottom,
Okay.
not the other way around.
Right.
Any other ideas? U sub.
Okay.
U is
Silly use x squared plus
x squared plus 1. Du is
2x
2x dx. Du over 2 equals x dx. Man, this is fun. And then we have 1/2 ln of u plus c.
Do you not have to plug in u afterwards?
You guys, if on this one you didn't put the absolute value bars, I'd be okay with it. Why would I be okay with it here?
Because it's squared.
Not because the x squared is positive, but the value of x squared plus 1. Like if that was x squared minus 3, we would still need the absolute value bars. But x squared plus 1 is always positive.
If adding a constant, it'll always be positive.
Yes. Now, that being said, I wrote them. I certainly won't care so if you need it in your head that you always just write them, that's fine. Wasn't this fun?
Super.
thrilling.
You guys are mocking me at this point.
I genuinely thought it was thrilling. You sub.
Does U sub work?
Yeah,
How do you know U sub will work?
because the derivative of x cubed plus x is 3x squared.
Yeah, what is, so if I let U be x cubed plus x, du would be the 3x squared plus 1 on top. That's lovely, you guys. You guys making it, you guys were so worried about this, and now,
Bless you.
Thank you.
what a blast. What's more fun than this? I literally can't think of anything more fun than this. Except for maybe,
Drawing blank.
except for maybe this one. Huh?
Is this where you would have to use long division?
For this one, we would have to use long division, yeah. Or,
Ooh.
anybody see anything else we could do? You guys are gonna love it. You're gonna love this. You ready? Are you ready? Is everybody ready? How about this? Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Why is this easier?
Because then it's just 1 close.
1 plus
1 over x.
1 over x dx.
I don't know.
You know, I can't help it.
Why
notice
is it
you
just
didn't
x squared
clap.
plus and not x squared plus 1?
Yeah.
Huh?
Under the x, why is it just x squared?
It's not.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say-
So it's not 1 over x. But wait a minute. Don't we already know the integral of x over x squared plus 1?
So it's just
No, this is, you guys, what's the integral of the 1?
x.
What's the integral of x over x squared plus 1?
1/2 ln of x squared plus 1 plus c.
Come on. No one?
Would you want us to re-show like the integral of x over x squared plus 1?
It is unlikely that I would give you both of these on a test. In fact, rather than give you 2 questions, I would just call this 1 question and leave it at that.
Okay.
Keelan, I can't help but notice you didn't clap when the rest of us did.
I'm still writing.
We all took a break to clap.
I don't remember how to do this one. That's pretty great. Thoughts?
You had a good one?
I actually don't remember how to do this one. Does anybody have any thoughts?
Could expand the bottom and then
If I expand the bottom, on the bottom I have x squared plus 2x plus 1 dx.
I don't know.
U over 2 minus 2.
U over 2 minus 2. What would you make u?
X squared plus 2 plus 1. And then d is 2x plus 2. And then say
It's not looking good, is it?
du over 2.
Yeah, I'm not, no.
minus
It's gonna be a fun section.
Could you, oh, I guess that you'd have to like undo the, if you like expand it into x over x plus 1 and 1 over x plus 1 and multiply it, could you do it like that?
Ooh, that definitely works.
What do you guys think?
Charlie, you should have just spoke up.
Should've spoke up. I thought it was sense.
You know, yesterday, I don't know why I didn't see it quicker, to be honest. Yesterday we talked about if you have one term on top and two terms on the bottom, it can be useful to do this, right? Because then we can rewrite that one term on top as two terms in relationship to you. And from here, oh, you guys, we got one. Somebody tell me what's wrong with what I've got written down so far.
Well, it'd be
You need the DU, like especially thinking about going into Calc 3 and all that, or Calc 2 and all that kind of stuff. What you are driving in terms of is very, very important. Okay, lovely. And okay, so now we can split it up, right? So we have 1 over u minus 1 over u squared du. What's the integral of 1 over u squared? That would be u to the negative 2, yeah?
yeah.
Take it up by 1
Oh,
would be negative 1.
yeah.
Divide by that negative 1 makes this positive overall.
The absolute value of u.
Yeah. So then we have the ln of x plus 1 plus 1 over x plus 1 plus c. Man, that was fun. Real quick, going back to that one that we did the long division on. My understanding is that if I use the phrase synthetic division or long division of polynomial functions, you might want to throw something at me. Is that correct?
What?
If I use synthetic division or polynomial long division, you might want a quick review session of that. Is that a reasonable
Yes.
a reasonable assumption that you don't remember how to do those two skills? Okay. Lovely. So an example of when we might do this. So let's say I have the function x, I don't want to do it. Let's do x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. And I'm going to put that over x minus 3. You guys, I just made this problem up. If the numbers are nasty, it's not my fault.
Well, how would it not be your fault if you made it up?
I didn't think about this in advance. Charlie, we're recording. Everybody in the other class is going to know that you're sassing. Okay. Now, long division went like this. No, really, keep groaning, guys. It gets even better. Is this feeling familiar?
Not really, slightly.
I'm going to tell him next door. He's going to come and yell at you guys.
Why don't you just have Richards co-teach this lesson?
I should just walk out and just make him teach it in general.
Wait, yes, dude.
All right, you guys. So essentially, we say how many times does x minus 3 go into x cubed? Or how many times does x go into x cubed? No. No. Another way of saying that exact same question
Once.
is, what do I need to multiply x by so that I end up with x cubed? Like that's what x squared. So how many times does x go into x cubed? X squared times.
This is terrible.
All right. Then what we're going to do is take that x squared times the thing I'm dividing by. So if I take x squared times x minus 3, what do I get?
X cubed minus 3x squared.
Jinx. Okay, next step. Subtract. When I subtract, I'm subtracting the whole thing. So the x cubed becomes negative. The 3x squared becomes positive. So, like, in my head, I say I'm subtracting by changing signs. I change all of the signs. And then we combine. And if I've done this correctly, these should cancel every time. Yeah? You guys, what is 2x squared plus 3x squared?
5x squared.
And then I bring down the 3x. Now, how many times?
What about 4?
Don't worry about.
That's
I mean, I
great.
could bring it like you typically just bring down the next one because you have a binomial here and you want to compare it to a binomial here. If you brought the 4 down, it wouldn't matter until the very end anyway. But you guys, how many times does x go into 5x squared? Again, and that is saying what do I multiply the x by to get 5x squared? And the answer is 5x. Positive or negative 5x?
Positive.
And then I multiply. 5x times x is 5x squared minus 15x.
Change the signs.
And then I subtract by changing signs.
And then you get 12.
How many times does x go into 12x? 12 times.
Sweet.
Then I multiply.
Oh, I'm catching on.
12x minus 36. And then I subtract by changing signs. I have 40. Can x go into 40?
No.
Nope. So the 40 is my remainder, which I write as 40 over x minus 3. So I want to make sure one thing's clear. You guys, I can say that x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 4 over x minus 3 is equivalent to, has the same value as x squared plus 5x plus 12 plus 40 over x minus 3. These two things are equal. Now, before you say, I hate this, which one would you rather do the integral of?
The second. Probably the second. Yeah.
So the reason we do this, the reason I'm reviewing this division is
Because we're about to do integrals.
we're about to do some integration using logarithms, which means fractions, and this is a lot easier to integrate than the other one, okay? All right, everybody good? All right, one more thing, because I'm going to be kind, and I'm a good, nice teacher who's flexible and perfect in every sort of way, right?
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to show you this synthetically, nor will I give you one that you cannot do synthetically, okay? Synthetic is similar. You've done synthetic division, you just don't remember it, okay? Okay, great. So with synthetic division, you have a little box and then numbers. And inside that little box is the number that makes your divisor, the one on the bottom, 0. So what would make my bottom equal to 0 here? 3. Lovely. And then the numbers across the top are the coefficients of the top. 1, 2, -3, 4.
Yeah, I slightly remember this.
You slightly remember? All right. You always start by putting a 0, okay? You're going to add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply until you run out of stuff. Okay, so when I add, I get 1.
1.
And then I'm going to take whatever I have here,
And multiply by 2.
multiply it by whatever's in the box.
3.
So we always multiply by the 3. So 1 times 3 is, in fact,
3.
3.
3.
And I
5.
add. Then I multiply.
15.
And then I
12. 12.
Then I multiply.
Oh, that's the same thing.
And if I've done this correctly,
Well, that's so much better.
the last number is my remainder.
Is it always the remainder?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The number before that is the constant. The number before that is x to the first power. Like my powers on x increase from right to left. If you wanted to, okay, you could also say, because like we read left to right and we kind of look at these numbers left to right. The exponent on this term is always 1 less than the exponent in the numerator. Because we're essentially doing x to the third over x is x squared, right? A cubic divided by x should be some form of an x squared. Everybody good? Now, synthetic division only works if this is a 1x plus or minus some number, okay? You can't do it if it's any, and it can only be x to the first. So, that being said, I'm not a jerk. I'm not going to give you a super crazy one. Now, we can integrate using logarithms. Everybody good? Was this enough of a review?
Hopefully.
Great. Let's go ahead and... If I asked you to integrate this, you would do the division, right? What would the integral of this one be? X cubed over 3 plus 5 halves x squared plus 12x plus 40 ln of the absolute value of x and minus 3 plus c. So, like, if you get to one of these fractions and none of the strategies I just showed you works, specifically this kind of scenario where the top has a bigger degree than the bottom, and I'm pretty sure there's one of these in the homework that I still haven't run off for you guys on this topic.
All right, because you said you were going to give it to us after we took the quiz, but we haven't.
But you guys like,
shifted it, so
you guys threw me for a loop yesterday, so you know, I hadn't made my copies yet.
that's fair.
Plus, I didn't have a planning period after you guys yesterday. Because my planning periods are 1st and 8th, so I didn't have a chance to do it yet. So, everybody good?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I think I'm done.